Let's talk about the man behind ChatGPT, Sam Altman. In telling his story, we're going to bust a huge myth about what it actually takes to win in the world of tech.
So, let's start with the big question. When you think of the CEO of OpenAI, what comes to mind? Probably some super genius scientist, right? Someone who basically lives in a dark room just hammering out brilliant code? Well, you might want to rethink that.
You know, we have this myth of the genius coder, but the reality with Sam Altman, he's not an AI scientist. In fact, he's never even published a machine learning paper. So how in the world did this guy end up running circles around a giant like Google? His real story is way more interesting than any movie plot.
All right, so let's rewind. His story, and you might not believe this, doesn't start with some huge win. Nope, it starts with a pretty spectacular public flop.
Okay, picture this. It's 2005. A 19-year-old Sam Altman drops out of Stanford to create his first startup, an app called Looped. The idea was to share your location with friends, but the thing is, it just never took off. After years of struggling, it was sold for a loss. For most people, that would have been the end of the story.
But one person saw something totally different. Paul Graham, the godfather of Silicon Valley, looked past the failure. He saw this incredible, rare focus in Altman, even comparing him to Bill Gates. And that one observation, it was about to change everything.
So this vote of confidence completely changes Altman's trajectory. He stops trying to be the world's greatest engineer and instead starts learning how to build empires for other people.
And he learned fast. So fast, in fact, that Paul Graham basically hands him the keys to the kingdom. At just 28 years old, Sam Altman becomes the president of Y Combinator, the most powerful startup machine on the planet.
Now, at Y Combinator, he wasn't the guy writing the code. No way. He was the one mentoring the founders of companies like Airbnb, Dropbox, and Reddit. He was in the trenches, learning how businesses really work. He wasn't a coder king. He became a kingmaker.
All this experience was the perfect training ground. It taught him how to build something from nothing, a skill he was going to need for his next idea, which was, well, completely insane, creating an artificial intelligence that could think just like a human.
But there was this one massive, glaring problem. He had this incredible vision for AGI, but he was no AI expert. And at that time, pretty much every single one of the world's best AI minds worked for one company, Google.
And at the very top of that talent pyramid was one man, Ilya Sutskever. This guy was the best of the best, the Messi of AI. Sam knew, he just knew that without Ilya, his vision for OpenAI was just a pipe dream. So this is where we see Altman's real genius kick in. How do you compete with Google's millions? Well, you don't. He offered Ilya something else entirely. He said, look, at Google, you're building another product. With me, you get to pursue pure science for all of humanity. You get a chance to change history.
And guess what? It worked. That vision was so powerful that Ilya Sutskever walked away from a huge Google salary to join Sam's little nonprofit. It was the biggest heist in tech history. Sam didn't need to steal the code because he had just stolen the brain that could write it.
Okay, so getting Ilya was a massive coup. But believe it or not, that was just the beginning. Now we get to see Altman's real superpower in full force.
See, his real superpower isn't writing algorithms. It's the power of persuasion. It's his uncanny ability to find world-class talent and convince impossible people to believe in an impossible vision. He got Elon Musk to write the first check. And later, he persuaded Microsoft's CEO, Satya Nadella, to invest a mind-blowing $10 billion.
And here's the crazy part. Sam Altman probably couldn't walk you through the nitty-gritty of ChatGPT's algorithm, but that doesn't matter. His value isn't in knowing how to build it, it's in knowing who to hire to build it, and then giving them everything they need to make it happen.
So what does this story actually mean for you? Especially if you've ever felt like, I'm just not technical enough, or I can't code well enough to really make a difference.
This is the big takeaway right here. Sam Altman didn't change the world with a keyboard. He changed it with vision and with leadership. He literally turned himself into a human magnet for talent, a person with a mission so compelling that the smartest people on the planet just had to be a part of it.
He basically wrote a new playbook. You don't have to be the best coder in the world if you can master these three things. First, forge a vision that is so powerful it sounds almost crazy. Second, persuade the best of the best to join you on that crazy mission. And third, unite that team to make the impossible possible.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on.
Technical skill is absolutely valuable. Coding can change products for sure, but maybe, just maybe, the skills that truly change the world are vision, leadership, and the profound ability to persuade others to believe in a better future.